Hi, I'm Gary Striegler. So the weather in Northwest Arkansas today is really rough, a lot of ice. But that's given me a chance to hang out in the shop and finish a project I've been working on for quite a while, and that's building this pair of custom pocket doors that have kind of a contemporary panel in the bottom, and then they've got 3 openings for glass, and this somewhat mirrors the entryway door that's just across from this pair of doors, the pocket doors that close off the office. Now, the construction of this is pretty straightforward as far as the stiles and rails. I took a bunch of strips of about 1.75 inches, maybe 1 7/8 lumber, and glued them up in a sandwich like this. Then I took them and face planed them to make them, or face jointed them to make them flat. And then after I had them down straight and planed them to the thickness I wanted, I came in and glued a veneer on top of them so that, and on the bottom, so that it's a stave core construction. That makes this really, really solid. I have done some doors in the past where I just glued together about 3 layers of lumber flat, and that works pretty well, but there's nothing that it makes my door more stable than doing this stave core type construction. Again, this is a little bit of a contemporary detail. So this panel down here, instead of being your normal raised panel, actually has this somewhat contemporary where it's just a very minor bevel on the edge. And when it's installed, we end up with a look like this, where there's just a little bit of a reveal held in place. Now, what holds it in place is this sticking material that I made, which is a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, but it has a 1/4 by 1/4 rebate in the edge. Now, the neat thing about that is when I install it, I actually end up with, install it back a 1/4 inch down from the face, I end up with a 1/4 by 1/4 by 1/4 by 1/4, and then the panel. And up here where the glass is, it's going to be the same thing. They'll just hold the glass in place on both sides. Making this wasn't too difficult. I used my white side rebate, multi-rebate set, and set it up for a 1/4 inch rebate. First thing I did though is I took a bunch of pieces of material, planed both edges to make sure I had a really clean edge, and then I planed the face for a clean face, rebated the edges of them, and I had to double rip them on the table saw to 1/2 by 1/2, and my blade was getting a little bit dull on the table saw, so I put a brand new Tenere blade in there, and so I got great cuts that I didn't have to do anything to once I'd ripped them down. Then I just used the Craig Multi-Mark to set my reveals so that I can even reveal all the way around and nail those pieces in place with headless pins. So you end up with a really nice, somewhat contemporary design, but still has a whole lot of attention to detail. Now all I've got to do is get both these loaded up in my truck, or well, I'm actually going to wait for some warmer, dry weather, then load them in the truck, and we'll take them out to the job site and install them.